Do you feel like you're getting tired faster than you used to? Like you wake up but the energy never really arrives? It might not just be age. After 60, the body starts sending signals in a different way, quietly, in small things. Today, we'll talk about 3.5 signs that are easy to overlook, but important not to ignore. You'll learn how to recognize them, what to do about them, and how to start getting your energy back without panic, just with care. One of the first things I always ask older patients when they tell me they're feeling tired all the time is, how much water are you drinking? And you'd be surprised how many people shrug and say, not much, and maybe a cup with lunch. It might seem simple, but chronic dehydration is one of the most overlooked causes of fatigue after 60. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable, which means your body might need fluids, but it's not asking clearly. When that happens, blood volume drops slightly, blood thickens, and circulation slows down, making you feel sluggish, foggy, or even dizzy. Add to that common medications like diuretics or blood pressure pills, and you've got a recipe for constant, low-level dehydration without even realizing it. I remember one man in particular, George, 74, from Milwaukee, who came to see me and said, "I wake up feeling like someone pulled the plug overnight." He wasn't in pain, and his sleep seemed fine, but his energy just didn't come back no matter how long he rested. We went through his diet, his medications, his routines. Then I asked, "What do you drink first thing in the morning?" He blinked and said, "Coffee, but only half a cup. It's too bitter now. Otherwise, not much." George, like many people his age, had cut back on liquids to avoid nighttime bathroom trips, but he'd gone too far. We came up with a small plan. Start every morning with 1 glass of water at room temperature, keep a bottle nearby during the day, and aim for at least 4 full glasses by evening. To his surprise, within a week, he said, "I don't feel brand new, but I don't feel drained anymore." By the 3rd week, he was back to reading in the afternoons and walking to the corner store without the fog. What often helps is creating a gentle routine. Put a glass of water by the bed at night. When you wake up, drink it before anything else, even before coffee. Set a reminder mid-morning and mid-afternoon to sip again. If plain water feels boring, try a slice of lemon or warm herbal tea. You don't need to force liters, just stay consistently hydrated. Energy doesn't only come from pills, vitamins, or long naps. Sometimes it comes from something as simple as water, quiet, essential, and often forgotten. And when you give your body what it's been quietly asking for, it responds gently but surely. Because feeling better can start with the smallest sip. Another cause of fatigue that I often see, especially in adults over 60, is a simple one that's easy to miss: low vitamin B12. This vitamin plays a big role in how your brain and nervous system function, and it's crucial for energy production and memory. But here's the catch. As we get older, our bodies don't absorb B12 as well from food, especially if we've taken certain medications like antacids or metformin, or if we've had digestive conditions. The result? You might feel tired, foggy, a little off balance, or forgetful, and you might just assume it's normal aging, when in fact it's something your body is missing. I once worked with a woman named Linda, 68, from Kansas City. She came to see me saying, "I just don't feel sharp anymore. I'm dragging through the day, and sometimes I can't even remember why I walked into a room." Her blood pressure was fine, her heart was strong, she ate a balanced diet, and she stayed fairly active. But the spark wasn't there. I asked if she'd had her B12 checked lately. She said no one had ever mentioned it. We ran a basic blood test, and sure enough, her levels were low. Not dangerously low, but low, enough to cause symptoms. We started her on a short course of B12 injections once a week, then moved to oral supplements, and she also added more eggs and fortified cereal to her breakfast. 2 weeks later, she called me and said, "I feel like I got my mind back." That mental fog had lifted, and her energy was slowly returning. What often helps is getting your B12 checked once a year, especially if you feel more tired than usual or notice changes in memory or balance. It's a simple blood test, and if your levels are low, there are safe and effective treatments, from supplements to injections, that can help restore what's missing. But it starts with asking. Your brain needs fuel just like your body does, and when it's running on empty, everything slows down. But the good news is, B12 deficiency is one of the most fixable causes of fatigue, and giving your brain what it needs isn't just about energy, it's about clarity, confidence, and feeling like yourself again. Let's talk about something I've seen many times: fatigue that doesn't go away no matter how much rest you get. When someone over 60 tells me, "I just feel tired all the time, even when I haven't done much," I always want to look deeper, because sometimes fatigue isn't about sleep or age at all. It's about the heart or the thyroid. The truth is both conditions can be sneaky. A slow thyroid, called hypothyroidism, can make you feel like you're dragging through the day, gaining weight, or even feeling cold all the time. Heart rhythm issues like atrial fibrillation can cause your body to work harder than it should, leaving you winded or weak after even small efforts. And in older adults, these things don't always show up as chest pain or palpitations. Sometimes, the only clue is fatigue. I remember one man, Ray, 76, from Tucson, who came in and said, "I can't even get up the stairs without needing to sit down." He wasn't short of breath exactly, and he hadn't noticed any chest pain, so he thought maybe he was just out of shape. But when we checked his heart rhythm with a simple ECG, we found he had an irregular heartbeat that had likely been there for months. His heart wasn't pumping efficiently, so even basic movement was draining his energy. With his cardiologist, we adjusted his medications and monitored him closely. Within weeks, Ray was taking daily walks in the park again. It wasn't dramatic, but he said, "It's like I have a bit of life back." And that bit meant everything to him. What often helps is asking your doctor to run a basic set of tests if your fatigue lasts more than a few weeks without explanation. An ECG can check your heart's rhythm, and a simple blood test called TSH can check your thyroid. These tests are not invasive, not expensive, and they can rule out or confirm what's quietly making you feel this way. You don't need to diagnose yourself, just ask. Fatigue is your body's way of whispering that something might be off, and it's worth listening, because sometimes it's not just aging, it's a fixable signal. And when you follow that signal, you might find energy, clarity, and confidence waiting on the other side. Here's something I talk about often, because it's so common but rarely addressed: the daily rhythm we choose after retirement. I've worked with many older adults who tell me they feel drained by mid-afternoon, and yet when we look at their day, they're trying to fit in too much too early, or sometimes the exact opposite, delaying all their tasks until they feel ready. After 60, our body's internal rhythm changes. We often have more energy in the first half of the day, and our ability to recover from physical or emotional effort slows down. If you overload yourself in the morning, you may burn out by noon. But if you wait too long to get started, you might never really get going. The key is balance, and matching your activities to the natural arc of your energy. I remember working with a woman named Betty, 70 years old, from Des Moines. She was constantly tired by the evening, but couldn't understand why. "I'm not doing anything big," she told me. But when I asked her to describe a typical day, it became clear. She was waking up early to take her grandkids to school, then cleaning the house top to bottom, doing laundry, preparing meals, all before lunch. And only after all that would she sit down to eat and rest. Her mornings were packed, and by 2 p.m. she was exhausted, frustrated, and still had errands left. Together, we tried a simple shift. Instead of jumping into chores, she'd eat a proper breakfast, stretch for 10 minutes, then space out her tasks with rest in between. She started doing lighter things in the afternoon, like folding laundry while listening to music, and saved walks or grocery trips for early hours. 2 weeks later, she told me, "I still get tired, but not worn out. I feel like I'm finally working with my body, not against it." What often helps is mapping your day to your energy. Try doing the most demanding things, physically or mentally, between 9 a.m. and noon. Schedule rest or quiet activities after 3 or 4 p.m. Avoid stacking too many chores in one block. And most of all, give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Energy isn't just about doing less. It's about doing things at the right time. Think of your energy like sunlight. It's brightest early on, fades in the afternoon, and needs warmth, not pressure, to last. You don't have to prove anything. Just let your rhythm support you, not exhaust you. If you recognized yourself in any of these stories, share it in the comments. It could help not just you, but someone else who's been feeling the same. Fatigue isn't a verdict. It's an invitation to listen to your body. Subscribe if you appreciate this kind of warm, helpful content. And above all, remember, you are not alone. Your energy can return. Even the smallest shift is already movement, and life comes back to the places where it's gently welcomed.